It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Okay, no, maybe not quite yet, but the weather's changing, the leaves are changing, the days are getting shorter, the cows have come back down from their high alpine pastures, and the first Lebkuchen and Stollen are for sale in the local markets. So it is time to start thinking about Christmas, and now is the time to start thinking about your Christmas market adventures. And I have got the ultimate Christmas market adventure itinerary for you. Now, this can be a minimum, I recommend a minimum of 7 days, but depending on your finances, your time, and your Christmas spirit, you can extend it out to 2 weeks or even longer if you want to. All right, so where are we going to go? All right, so we're going to start off in Frankfurt, and then we're going to go to Erfurt, and then we're going to go to Leipzig, and then we're going to go to Dresden, and then if you've still got the Christmas spirit left, we're going to extend it and we're going to go to Prague. All right. So, okay, I don't really have a cup for Frankfurt or Prague, so I used the generic Nutcracker cup. But anyway, you get the idea, right? Okay. So why these places? Well, first of all, these are fantastic places, right? These are beautiful cities. They're culturally and historically rich, and they're great places to visit any time of the year, right? But of course, they have fantastic Christmas markets, beautiful Christmas markets, great atmosphere, and great food at these Christmas markets too. So that's why I've picked these 4 places. But also, logistically, because they're very easy to get to. All right, so you're going to fly into the Frankfurt airport, which is, I believe, the 4th busiest airport in Europe, 4th or 5th. And so it should be pretty easy to fly into Frankfurt. And then once you get to Frankfurt, you can easily get to the rest of these cities by either renting a car and driving, or by taking high-speed train, or even the slower regional train, right? So you have options on your transportation. And they're just beautiful places, right? And so now we're going to talk about each one of these places. I'm going to tell you some nice things about each city. Okay, so you're going to start out in Frankfurt. And like I said, Frankfurt has one of the busiest airports in Europe. It has, flights come in from many different places from around the world. So it's going to be easy to get a flight into the Frankfurt airport. And it's a transportation hub, has a big train station. So you can easily get throughout Germany and get throughout the other places in Europe once you get to Frankfurt. All right. And kind of the problem with Frankfurt is it's such a transportation hub, and it's also the financial hub of the European Union, that a lot of people don't really think about it as a travel destination. And I have to admit, we were guilty of that ourselves. And we had not really visited Frankfurt at all until last year. And we'd never been to the Christmas market until last year. So don't be guilty of that. Frankfurt's worth at least a couple days. It's a nice city. It's a great city to visit any time of year. And the Christmas market is really nice. So like I said, we'd kind of neglected Frankfurt. And last year, it just so happened we were flying back to the United States to spend Christmas with our family. And so the day before we flew out, we stayed in a hotel right by the Frankfurt airport, and we went down to the Frankfurt Christmas market. And I wasn't really expecting much, to be totally honest with you, but we were completely blown away. I mean, it had like several big Christmas markets, really nice, beautiful, had some really great food. And the thing about it is, I think the atmosphere in Frankfurt was the best Christmas market atmosphere we've ever experienced. And we've been to a lot of Christmas markets, but the people were in an exceptionally good mood. They were very friendly, very helpful. People would just come up and talk to us and offer help, or if they saw us looking for something. It was really nice. I can't say enough how great the atmosphere was. And like I said, we really weren't expecting much, and it really blew us away. So when you're when you fly in, you want to stay in Frankfurt for a couple days, and this is going to help you ease into your or ease out of your jet lag, because especially if you're coming in from international locations, you're more than likely going to have some jet lag. So Frankfurt can help you ease into that in a very nice Christmas market setting. There's like I said, lots of great food, and Frankfurt is very near big wine regions in Germany, so there's a lot of good wine there as well. And it's also very easy to get to Mainz, and Mainz is a city not far from Frankfurt. I think you can get there in about 30 minutes on public transportation. And it's also a beautiful city, and also has great Christmas markets. And also Wiesbaden is very nearby. So two places you could extend your stay in Frankfurt and visit those Christmas markets if you want to. And I think you'd have a really nice time there. Okay, so after you leave Frankfurt, the next place you're gonna go is Erfurt. And Erfurt is a beautiful city. It's very historically rich, and it has one of the best preserved medieval city centers in all of Germany. It has a lot of the old half-timbered, gingerbread-looking houses. Really nice for religious historians, for Christian historians. There's a lot of Martin Luther history there. He went to the university in Erfurt. So in addition to the city center and those half-timbered buildings, it has a bridge called the Kramerbrücke, which means the Merchant's Bridge. And this was built in 1325, and it's lined with half-timbered buildings, half-timbered houses. And it is the oldest inhabited bridge in all of Europe. And so there's shops there. I don't know if anyone still lives there or not, but there's actually a lot of shops there, and it is beautiful. You got to stroll along the Kramerbrücke when you're in Erfurt. Lots of good food. So probably fewer English-speaking visitors are going to be there, and you're going to hear a lot of German. Most of these other places, when you go through there, you're going to hear a lot of languages. You're going to hear a lot of English being spoken, but in Erfurt, not so much. And we got to practice our German quite a bit in Erfurt last year. But don't let that put you off, because the people are extremely friendly. They're going to help you if you have questions, and you will figure things out. But it's an absolutely spectacular setting. The dome plots on the cathedral square, you've got the cathedral, and you've got another huge church right next door to it. It's one of the most beautiful Christmas market settings I've ever seen. I can't say enough about Erfurt. And like I said, not so many English-speaking tourists, so it might be a more culturally accurate Christmas market than any of the other ones, right? It might be really, really genuine, I guess I would say. So I really recommend Erfurt. Beautiful, great food. I think you'll have a great time there. And it's definitely worth spending a couple days, maybe even more, because it's a great place to visit any time of year, even without the Christmas market. There's so much history there, especially if you're a historian. I think you'll have a great time in Erfurt. Okay, so the next city on our Christmas market tour, after we leave Erfurt, we're going to go just right down the road, not far at all. We're going to go to Leipzig. And Leipzig is a great city. And if you arrive by train, Leipzig has the most beautiful train station in Germany, and they really decorate it nice for the holidays. It's really beautiful. It's pretty all year, but around Christmas time, it is really spectacular. And there's also like a little Christmas market in the train station, so that's really something special. So I would say, even if you drive to Leipzig, even if you're going by car, then you still need to go over to the train station, because it's quite a sight to see, and definitely adds to the Christmas spirit in Leipzig. All right, so Leipzig is culturally rich. It is a classical music capital of Germany. So Johann Sebastian Bach, Felix Mendelssohn, the Wagner, the Schumanns, among others. They've all have a big heritage there, big history there. Bach spent the last years of his life there and did his most formative work in Leipzig. So if you love classical music, then Leipzig is the place that you definitely have to visit. And beautiful city. A few years ago, its nickname is called Leipzig. It's also called the City of Heroes because it played a key role in the fall of the Berlin Wall. And actually, the movement that led to the Berlin Wall coming down actually kind of started in Leipzig. So it's referred to as the City of Heroes, nickname of Leipzig. A few years ago, the New York Times listed it as one of the top cities to visit. I think one of the 52 cities to visit of that year. So there's a city or a location you should visit every year, according to the New York Times. And this is one of them. A few years ago, Leipzig was one of the recommended destinations. Beautiful city, great city, lots of stuff to do. Christmas markets are fantastic. They have big Christmas markets. And they're spread out throughout the city, but they're joined. So it's like you go to one Christmas market and it's like you never leave a Christmas market, and then you go to the next one. And they have different themes. So for example, there's a medieval Christmas market, there's a fairy tale Christmas market, there's a Scandinavian Christmas market, a South Tyrol market, and then there's the traditional Christmas market on the Marktplatz or the town square. So just beautiful, lots of stuff to do. Cannot recommend Leipzig enough. And it's easy. It's not far to get to from Erfurt. Lots of great food. And so Leipzig, definitely worth a couple days, maybe even more, depending. If you're into classical music, you could easily spend a week in Leipzig. Even if you're not, you could easily spend a week there. So there's so much stuff to do, so much history, Cold War history, and and of course the Christmas market is just spectacular. So you got to hit Leipzig, and it is definitely one of the cities on our ultimate Christmas market adventure. All right, so the next city we're going to visit after we leave Leipzig, again, right down the road, it doesn't take far to get there from Leipzig, we're going to go to Dresden. And Dresden, I would say, is probably the most well-known Christmas market destination on our Christmas market tour. And it's it's in competition with Erfurt, I would say, as the most beautiful city on this list, because Dresden and Erfurt are really, both of them are spectacularly beautiful. Dresden's really special. It has the oldest Christmas market in the world, I guess, the Striezelmarkt, which dates back to 1434. So they've been having Christmas markets there for a long time. Beautiful Christmas market, the Frauenkirche, the Church of Our Lady, absolutely stunning. Again, different Christmas markets. They have a medieval Christmas market as well. They have a Christmas market on the Neumarkt, and then the Striezelmarkt on the Hauptmarkt. Beautiful. Some of the best food, some of our favorite food of all time of Christmas markets is right here in Dresden. So they have a place where they roast an entire ox on a spit, and then they'll slice it off and put it on a roll. And it is with some red cabbage. And this is one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. We went back to Dresden last year after a few years, and this is the first place we couldn't wait to go get an ox sandwich. So the ox sandwich is outstanding. And they have a Prager Schinken, which means ham from Prague, and they have Prager Schinken sandwiches, and those are some of the best ham sandwiches you're ever going to get. So delicious food, great atmosphere. And also the Christstollen originates from Dresden, and the best Stollen you're ever going to get is either from Dresden or also Leipzig. Leipzig makes outstanding Stollen as well. So Dresden is absolutely phenomenal. You got to visit there. And so that is Dresden is the last city in our German Christmas market tour, but we could extend it. Okay, so now we have this possible extension to Prague, right? So if you have the time, if you have the money, and if you still have the Christmas spirit, you can go on to Prague. And Prague it's just not far. It's easily to reach from Dresden by train or by car. It's pretty close by. So now I have to admit, I love Christmas and I love Christmas markets. But even at this point, I'm going to be getting a little bit of Christmas market fatigue. So Betty and I did this tour last year. We went to Frankfurt, Erfurt, Leipzig, and Dresden. Had a fantastic time. It was wonderful. We were going to go to Prague, But honestly, by this point, we were kind of tired, so we went back home. Now, we've been to the Prague Christmas Market before, and it is really nice. So, if this is your only chance you're doing a Christmas market tour of Europe, and if you can make it to Prague, I would recommend it. But, if you've been here before, that you might want to end it in Dresden, but it's up to you. It's up to your finances and your energy, right? So, I probably don't really need to say much about Prague, right? It's absolutely one of the most beautiful cities in the world. There's no doubt about that. And it has spectacular Christmas markets, absolutely beautiful. And one good thing about Prague, I mean, there's several good things, but this is about the Prague Christmas markets is that it actually goes into the new year, right? So I think this year for Christmas of 2025 and then into the new year of 2026, I think it goes until the 6th of January. And I don't believe any of these others go past Christmas. So Prague is one that you could save until the end, and you could even go after the new year if you want to. So that's a very good thing about Prague. Now, I would say compared to the other cities, we found it to be more crowded and also a bit more expensive. So just something to keep in mind, but it's absolutely a great place to visit. You could easily spend a week, 2 weeks perhaps in Prague. It's that interesting, it's that beautiful. There's so much to see and do, and that's even without the Christmas market. So just depending on your desires, but Prague is a great place to visit, and they have a beautiful Christmas market. And I think it's easy to tie it on to this Christmas market tour, right? And also, and the other thing to consider, if, checking off different countries is important to you, obviously Prague is in Czechia, what we used to call the Czech Republic. So it's another country. So if you want to check off, countries, if that's important, then you might want to go on into Prague. All right, guys, so that is my ultimate Christmas market tour. The one that I think is the best. I think it makes the most sense for visiting beautiful places, great Christmas markets, a great utilization of your time, and and the most for your money. So most for your time and money in beautiful places. I just think it's a fantastic tour. Like I said, Betty and I did it last year. We had a great time in all of these places. Really fantastic. We didn't go to Prague last year. We've been to Prague before, and it is great. It's a phenomenal city. So hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps you to plan your holiday adventure, your Christmas market tour in Europe. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Have you been to these places before? What did you think about their Christmas markets? If you have additional tips to help other viewers out, please leave those in the comments. And just let us know, does it sound like a good tour to you? And if you're going to go somewhere else, let us know. But, whatever you end up doing this Christmas season, this holiday season, I hope you have a great time. I wish you and your families, a joyous holiday season, a joyous Christmas season. I hope you're happy and healthy. And I hope you have a great 2026. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time. All right. Merry Christmas. Oh, oh, oh.